The Westing Game, it's a pretty good book, but one thing I must say before I start is that there's going to be a heck of a lot of spoilers because it's kind of like a school report, and I got to go through the entire book. So if you are planning on reading the book, I recommend leaving the room now or plugging your ears or something, whatever way to not hear it. So the book starts off, and there's a man named Barney Northrop. Pay attention to his last name, leading everyone, all of the heirs except for two, to their new rooms that in this apartment building. And so once that happens, Sandy, which is one of the heirs that were not led to their own room because he's a doorman for the place, he is telling a ghost story to Turtle, who's a little girl, Doug, who's probably a high schooler, and Theodorakis, who is a high schooler, and Otis Amber, who is the other heir that does not live in the building because he delivers mail. And so basically, Turtle decides that she's going to go up to the Westing house to see if Sam Westing's dead body is actually there. And she finds out that it actually is there. And then a couple days after that, all the heirs that live in the building are told to go to Mr. Westing's house. But there's also Otis Amber and Sandy McSouthers included. Pay attention to his last name too. And Sam Westing's last name. And so basically, they all go there, and they're all giving a couple clues along with a group mate. And the groups are kind of weird because the people tend to hate each other at first, but then start to like each other after a while, or reverse. And so that happens. And then they all go back to the building, try to figure out a bunch of clues. Like Theo's lead is that the person plays chess because at the mansion, he was playing chess with a person that he didn't see because he would move a piece and then he would come back later and then on the black side, someone moved a piece. And so he thinks that the murderer played chess. While Turtle, who, in my opinion, is the most annoying character throughout the book, she just kind of ruined a lot of it, even though it was still a good book. Her strategy was using the stock market. And so they're all using their strategies, and then one day it snows really, really badly, so they are stuck in the building, and Sandy and Otis are not in the building because they're at home doing their thing. And so a bomb goes off in Chris and Theo's parents' coffee shop. And so after that happens, a bomb goes off in Mr. Who's restaurant, and after that happens, a bomb goes off in Angela's face during her wedding shower. I believe that's what it was called. And so it's actually Angela's fault that the bombs all went off, but Turtle took the blame, and they had their own lovey-dovey sister moment. And so after that, a little while later, they're all, Sandy and Otis come back, and Sandy and the judge, which is Sandy's partner, start doing research about each of the people. And one part that I remember is that when they did research on Otis Amber, he was a 4th grade dropout, and he lives in the basement of a grocery store. So the judge decides to hire another person to do work for her, a secret agent, and so we'll get to that later. And so basically, a little while later, they're all invited back to Sam Westing's house, his mansion, and it's their time to decide who was the murderer. And so a lot of people guessed Otis Amber, but it wasn't them. And then when he did that, he made like a machine gun sound effect and was pointing it at all of them. But then Sandy dies, and they realize that Sandy, it was actually Mr. Westing. And, well, Sandy technically doesn't die because he's still alive as Mr. Eastman, which is, like, at the end, Turtle's talking to him. And so basically, Otis Amber was actually the secret agent that Judge Ford hired. And so they find out that there really was no murderer, and the book ends there. Thank you for watching.